Hi guys and welcome back. You saw the video last time of this coming apart. There was kind of iffy moments within that. So the whole head cylinder came off at the same time as the top. That was my fault. I'm going to be honest about that. I'd left a small bolt in there. So this is the time where that side's fine. People are still talking about blow by on the piston rings. These are the rings here. We need to be looking to see if any have snapped. There's no sign of snappage. Now I know when I took this one apart, right, that the gaps, look, the gaps were near each other. For example, look like that. Now that will allow a certain amount of stuff through anyway. So that actually could have been the issue all on its own straight away. So I'll gap it better when I put it back. I've actually got the new seals over in a packet over there, so I am going to be popping the heads off to kind of to sort that bit out. And then I need to work out now. I'm probably going to have to take these off and put them in the head when I'm ready, put it back down and put it back on the bike. Otherwise I'm going to risk ruining the rings on reinsertion. So yeah, a few bits to do today. I am kind of drying up over Christmas, I have to be honest. I mean, I've got this big old project here, not that one, which I don't know what I can do with, actually, if I'm being honest. I don't know. But yeah, I think videos are going to get, you're going to see less over Christmas and through the cold periods, but I'll still be here and around. Let's get that head out. When I do valves, when I do anything with valves, we know I'm not great with this stuff, so I do it all, I do it one at a time, for example. I do it one at a time. So I pop one out, and then I regrind it if needed. It won't be needed because it's the same sitting, but it doesn't hurt. And then I put all the new stems in, put the swings back in, and then I pop it back on. So I tend to do it all in one inning. That way you won't mix them up. If you mix them up at any point, if you switch them over, then you'll have a problem there. Although again, after grinding them back in, not much of an issue either. So let me pop one of these out. I'll show you roughly the process. I'll throw it on the stand. You've seen it before, but I'll give you a rough idea of the process here, and you can see what it takes to do these jobs.
Maybe get a new head, Charlie. I've got only 3 days work, that's it.
Next week?
Yeah, it's all quiet down now.
3 days, all right?
Yeah, that's it. That's a new year. All on that.
Did you get a response?
I've got that some hood ratchet.
Some hood rat?
What that sound like, Charlie?
GSXR maybe?
I've been worried of that.
Ah, so it has a spacer on the bottom. No, Danny doesn't ride like that. I knew, yeah, he doesn't ride. You wouldn't hear him pick up that speed up there.
I pick up speed down there.
Huh?
I pick up speed down there, your road. I feel flutter, man.
So the oil seal itself is that there. It's a little piece of rubber, plastic that comes off. The new ones I've bought have a compression ring on the top, so they are definitely more likely to keep oil out. This one doesn't. So I do think this was the issue. They just pop on, just get a piece of pliers, pull it off gently, and put the new one on. They're quite straightforward. Now there is a simple thing we can do. We can just check roughly kind of the fit there. Now actually there is a bit of look, I think it's that one's probably doing just enough of a job. But remember, when the oil's thinner, actually no, look, there is oil coming up out of it. So yeah, needed changing. So that's the process. So I pull this off. The other one literally clips on. I'll put a little bit of two-stroke on it, just ready for first start, because that might not even be today. So I want some oil on there. And then I'm going to do that with all 4 of these, and it will go back on. And then you've got a process of rebuilding an engine. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to film all 4. There's no point. You've seen the process there. You compress the spring, you take the retaining clips out, and then it all falls apart, and you put it all back together. So I'm happy with what we've done. The old seals are here. Where's the 4th one? There's a 4th one somewhere. I did do all, there you go. The old ones are here, and they don't have that compression bit on the top, and it shows you how much Chinese bikes like to save, because having that extra compression ring on the top for me makes a big difference. You could feel it on the valve. It made a big difference. I dropped it into oil before putting it in so that it was nicely oiled up. That's normal 4-stroke, and I popped them in, so they're all in and done. That part's quite easy. Once the head's off, that part is straightforward enough. The hardest part now is messing with putting the engine back together. I think I just need to get the cylinders on the pistons today, so I need to get the pistons off. The way to do that is to pop this ring and the ring on the other side, pull them out from the opposite sides. You've got to pull them out from the opposite sides so that you can put them back in from the opposite sides. Then you slide it all down, line them back up, push it all back in, make it all happen. That's the only way you're going to get all your ring gaps. You can try and push it on now, compress it with your hand and try and get it in. You're likely to bust a ring by doing that. So I want to make sure they're all freed up, they're all spaced correctly, and they're in. I might use a little bit of 2-stroke to help me get them in. I might not actually. I don't want all the smoke on startup. I'm going to see how I feel. But the next step is to pop these out. In, it says in on the piston. So in is the intake. Simple as that, really. So in goes the intake side. And yeah, and that's it. Let's have a look at what we're doing. What I didn't do was get new gaskets. So I've got 2 options here. I can order a new gasket set for next weekend. Probably the way to go, I have to be honest. It has to be genuine. It's probably best to buy a new gasket set if it's done properly. Or I can use my genuine gasket sealer with the old gasket if I think it'll be fine, and I do think that will be fine. So I'm going to look at the gasket, see how bad it is, and then decide as to whether I seal it and use it or get a brand new one. So let me get these out and into the cylinders. There you go, pistons are off. They're in fine condition, no worries. Look at that engine. I talk about winging it when I do engine work, and there is an element of winging it, but when you wing something enough, it becomes familiar. A lot of this work becomes familiar, and I always surprise myself how well things go back together in the end. I'm always a bit shocked. Just do it bit by bit, one bit at a time. If I can get these pistons in the cylinder head now, that's brilliant. Bit by bit, one bit at a time. If I can get the cylinder head back down and seated, not the head, the cylinder back down and seated with the pistons in it and the pistons done, that's great. That's a beautiful next step. Then it's about timing and stuff. I'm probably not going to get that done this weekend, which is fine. I'm not in any rush. Next weekend is not Christmas, is it? What's the date now?
Christmas Day will be on Monday.
Okay. Well, there you go. So next weekend will be Christmas Eve on Sunday, actually. Yeah. So yeah, So let me check the
We do Christmas
cylinder.
Eve special.
Can we get a Christmas Eve special?
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't know how this comes together, but the cylinder and head is on. Couple of bolts now, 2 in here and 1 down there that you've got to get in early, and then the rest goes on top. I don't remember this sticking out like this, but it is, I believe it's correct because it's seated appropriately. If not, it would have to come out and going upside down. In fact, what I need to do there is look at my video and check. No, that's definitely in upside down. Let me pull it out and switch it around. That's how it goes. Looks like I just pulled it out and didn't bother putting it back. It is right there, just so you know. And it is seated. I just want to check it's seated. Yeah. Okay, that is seated. Lovely. Like I said, 1, 2 and 3 bolts there just to nip that bit on, and then I'll look at throwing the timing back on for today. I'm not going to get a start up today, but the good thing about that is next weekend we'll get a start up, won't we? So let me throw them bolts in. I had them here actually. Now, torque settings for Chinese bikes. Torque settings. There aren't any. It's very hard to find torque settings for Chinese bikes. Even when you buy Chinese bike manuals, they are very generic. You haven't really got anything much option there, guys. All you can do there is torque away, you know, torque them down, and that's it. There's nothing you can do. In the past, engines were torqued by hand, and it was managed somehow. So that's kind of in a way what you have to do here. You'll find rough specs, and you'll find rough specs for head torques, but torque settings are specific to gaskets and bolts and heads and materials. So a lot of the times you're torquing these engines to a rate that you are just guessing. Now I know roughly the head torques were actually pretty solid. They were actually solid, so I have a rough idea what they are, and I'll get them as close as I can to what I think they were. Right, I'm going to hammer away at this, snip it all down. I might even be able to get the timing on, although I feel like I'm asking a lot here. And then I have to look at the valves, because when I took it out, right, the valves were really weird. It was like one side was down, left cylinder was down, right side was up, right was down. I'm going to have to set them to the same. I'm going to have to set them in the same way. It doesn't make sense to me, because on one compression it doesn't make sense that at any point they would be both open or closed at the same time. I have to work it out. I think I'll do it by eye. So when one side is up, I will set the other side. When the other side's up, I'll set the other side. I think I'm going to do it more traditionally than what it seemed like it was. Right, let me get some of this nipped down a touch.